Hey bike farmers, thanks for clicking in. It just kind of dawned on me the other day that everyone needs a slow bike. And then it dawned on me that's exactly what I do here on the channel. I just never really had a name for it. One of my favorite things to do is find one of these old mid-90s mountain bikes and convert it into a comfortable all-arounder, otherwise known as a slow bike, with a few key ingredients like upright handlebars, a comfy saddle, semi-slick tires, and some ergonomic grips. I think it's actually a pretty practical, do-it-yourself, at-home, in your garage kind of project for anybody with moderate bicycle mechanic skills. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a bike co-op or a used bike shop in town that has this stuff laying around or readily available, a lot of times they have programs where you can go in on a Sunday afternoon and make a bike that'll last you the rest of your life, super practical, just for getting around. And that's what I'm gonna try to do in this video, is show you how with just a few key parts, you too could pick one of these up cheap and build a bike like this in your garage. So kick back, relax, and let's get started. Okay, per the usual, I'm gonna put everything in the lowest gears, give her a crank, and then I pop the wheels off and set them aside. So I'm gonna tune this bike up as we go. And the first thing I like to do is when I get the bike at this stage is I pull the derailleur back like that, which creates enough slack in that cable that I can just pop that housing right out, and then I can lube this cable. I use Tri-Flow Superior lubricant. I truly believe it is superior to most other lubricants out there. It's my favorite. And we use the same principle on the front derailleur. You can pull the derailleur out there and then disconnect the cable from its happy home back there. And then this is still loose. Pop that one out. And then we can loosen up that rear brake cable as well. Okay, once we get things at this point, we can pull these cables out. You know, it's just about getting access to the inner cables and putting some lube inside the housing. This bike was stored pretty well, so we don't have any rust. We're not battling a lot of demons here. Now this one, because we've got a sleeve, it's a little bit trickier to get these brake cables lubed. They feel pretty good, so it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of an afterthought almost. But if you just get a couple drops in there, gravity kind of sucks it down, and over time that'll coat in there. You don't need a lot. Little dab will do ya. Now with all the cables and everything disconnected from the bike, you have access to the frame. I also don't like this white bottle cage. It's just kind of ugly. I don't think it fits the bike. There's no white on the bike except for the sticker from the bike shop and this paint that's not supposed to be there. So I'm gonna take this white bottle cage off the bike because I think it's ugly. Now I do have a used bike shop, so I'm gonna resell this bike. And what I'm gonna do is not have a bottle holder on it. And then a lot of times what I do is when I sell the bike, I just have a pile of used bottle holders. I ask if the customer wants one, I'll put one on there for free. I'm a true flim-flam artist. It's a white lie. With all the cables out of their happy homes, it gives us real good access to the frame. So I like to give it a quick polish. And I just use Lemony Fresh furniture polish. Behold is the cheap stuff at my grocery store. Just get whatever generic stuff they've got. You can get Pledge on Amazon pretty cheap. So just kind of get it all over everything. I don't care if it gets on the brake pads or anything. And then we just give it a good wipe down. Hey bike farmers, just a quick note while there's a lull in the action. If you've made it this far, I assume you like the video enough to click the like button. If you really like it, let us know in the comments below. And if you're into bicycle content for regular people, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're able to support more directly, click on the super thanks button and send me some taco money. Or better yet, join the channel as a monthly sustaining member. All of these things will help grow the channel organically and give the Bike Farmer YouTube channel a strong future. Thanks again for watching. Now let's get back to the bikes. So now we got this whole rat's nest of cables and just kind of put everything back in its happy home. Continuing along in the lines of the tune-up, one thing I like to do is drop some Tri-Flow down into those brake posts. Yeah, nice and easy. We'll mirror that same thought here in the front. If you just get a little started, just kind of give it a little chaotic wiggle. It's like the safety dance, only the opposite, the chaotic wiggle. All right, get to relax a little bit here on Woody Charleston. Starting here with the rear wheel. Check the spoke protector, dork disc. A lot of people like to take those off. Actually, this one's rubbing a little bit. Maybe I can get a screwdriver back in there. Yeah, no more rubbing. So a lot of people take these off. They think they're ugly or unnecessary because theoretically, if you adjust your derailleur right, you never need it. You'll never overshift. However, derailleurs get bumped, hangers get bent, and you will get an overshift eventually on every bike. I'm convinced of it. And this will save your spokes. And for regular bikes, for regular people, it's a smart thing to have. So Papa don't preach, I'm keeping that baby. Okay, so we got these new semi-slicked tires, which are gonna be much better for rolling around town, general purpose use. And this is just more part of the tune-up here. Just gonna touch this wheel up a little bit. I'm not gonna go into depth on the wheel truing. Oh, dropped my wrench. So another regular household product that really cleans bikes well is Dawn Power Wash. This wheel has a little bit of filth caked up on it. It's a little more than dusty. You know, the frame might have benefited from a little bit of power washing before I did the polishing. You can kind of do a two-stage thing on the bike frame sometimes. Yeah, this wheel is reacting to the power wash very well. It's shining right up. So a lot of people call these truing stands, but I've started calling mine the truthing stand because it tends to be where I start yapping in my videos and telling y'all where the bear shit in the buckwheat, otherwise known as the truth. Since I'm making a slow bike and I'm making a claim that everybody needs a slow bike, and it's something that the industry doesn't really want us to know about, I don't know what it is. The reality is that the major bike brands now, I think, just in the last like 5 years or so, they've really nailed it with the slow bikes. They all have kind of an entry-level hybrid, urban, I don't know what you call it, comfort bike. Typically it's the 700C wheel with a nice wide 2-inch tire, supple sidewalls, very comfortable, smooth rolling situation. Upright handlebars, nice upright riding position, a comfy saddle. They've done away mostly, I think, with like front suspension on these hybrids because you don't really need it if you have a good position on the bike and plump tires. Then they've been putting hydraulic disc brakes on, which I don't know. I'm not a big fan because they're kind of finicky to set up, but not necessarily. sometimes, and if the bike's built right, it's really the way to go and it's easy. And frankly, most of the people that can afford a bike, a brand new bike, have a house now with an attached garage. So those hydraulic brake systems are fine if it's in a, kind of controlled environment. They're 1x drivetrains with a nice wide gear range on the back. So low gearing, and the high gearing isn't gonna ever get anybody going too fast where they're freaking out. So you can get away with 9-speed drivetrains. So it's all very robust, or even 8-speed drivetrains, so you can just use the cheap chains. It all makes a lot of sense with the brand new bikes. Now, I'm more of a used bike guy at my shop. I do carry Giant brand bikes, and I sell a lot of Cypresses. That's what I'm talking about here. They're great. It's my favorite bike to sell. As soon as somebody gets on it, they're like, oh my God, when did bikes get like this? It's really great. And they are slow bikes, but people get on them and it's an effortless ride. And then, of course, you can buy the electric version of them for 3 times the price, but those bikes will even pedal themselves for you. We really are at the point where any self-respecting, dig your heels in, non-cyclist who absolutely refuses to be a big biker of any sort, a regular person who wants to feel like Pee Wee Herman just once. Now is the first time in history, I think, that you can really accomplish that. Now, there have been exceptions. There have been some bikes out there, but still, they're just not, there's like a sweet spot that they're hitting with those bikes, and I really think they're great. The problem is that they're $600 starting. It's just a little too expensive for most people because they feel that bicycles are toys and fixing them is a hobby, and $600, I'm not a big biker or nothing. I hear it all the time. And I'll sell this bike used for $350, so you can save a lot of money and accomplish all those things with this bike. And if you want to do it yourself, you can pick up one of these bikes for $100 on Facebook Marketplace. You can even do better than that, but let's say $100. And then all the parts, you might have another 150 into parts. So for $250, you can do it yourself, or you can pay me to do it for you. Now, before everybody rushes out to send me a message saying they want to buy this bike when I'm done with it, it's $200 to box and ship a bike. I mean, that's what I kind of charge. It's like $50 to put it in the box and then $150 to ship it. I am having a bike shipped to me from a bike shop, and I'm paying $200. $50 to box it and $150 to ship it, because I really want the bike and it's worth it to me. I will probably try to talk you out of it. I would want $550, and I don't know if it's worth it. You'd be better off finding a better way. I mean, I should just shut up and take your money, right? But I don't know, I'm principled, I guess. I really struggle to do things, take on projects that I don't believe in. Kind of a bad personality trait of mine if I want to be a business owner. Okay, these brakes are gonna need a little bit of adjusting. Get this rear one hooked up and just check it quick. They're not bad, but that'll be a fun thing to show you. Let's do it. So you see how these right now, they're kind of splayed out this way. And then when they're actually making contact with the rim, they're angled inward. I like them when they're making contact with the rim to be more vertical. So I think the proper adjustment here is just to slide the pads in a little bit. I'm actually starting to take pride in my cantilever brake adjustment. It's I think one of the most satisfying things in bike mechanics is to get cantilever brakes like this set up and really snappy and sounding good. I love the sound of it when they're just a perfect adjustment. And I'm just kind of pulling on the left side of the brake system here as hard as I can. So this is smushed up against, and then pushing that pad, just smushing it right into the rim. And that's how I'm making this adjustment right now. So basically I'm adjusting the brake as tight as it'll go with this cable tension, and then I'm going to adjust my cable tension. Come over here, and it looks like it was clamped down here at some point. Somebody came in and gave this a tweak. That was too much, I already know, right? Well, maybe not, it's just about right. Okay, and then this always gets kinked when you do that. That out of the way. So this was kind of resting on that brake bridge, which would push it one way or the other. This is a JIS number 2 screwdriver. I have a link in the description for it, and it is perfect for this as a JIS screw. It looks like a Phillips head, acts like a Phillips head, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, but it is JIS. It's just a little better for fixing bikes. Okay, and I'm just adjusting the tension, trying to get these pads to hit at the exact same time. Oh baby, there it is. Oh, Man, it's just about right. There it is, that's the sweet spot. Don't show your wives, boys, they will leave you. For me, that is just exactly perfect. I will apply similar principles here. I'm just gonna change the process a bit. I'm gonna tighten my cable a smidge. These are different brakes in the front, actually. They're replacement brakes or something, but the pads aren't adjusted very well. So this pad needs to come up. Yeah, just like that. I want to push it in a bit too. We're gonna add a little bit of tension here. Yeah, these are not Shimano brakes. The rear ones were Shimano, a lot easier to adjust. You know, if you get the good stuff, it really makes a difference when it comes to adjusting and setup and that kind of thing. Functionality, I mean, it just does, you know, it's like anything. You get the good quality stuff and you're gonna be happier in the long run. Okay, I'm gonna move. I'm having a hard time getting this spring tension right. Oh, that's pretty good. Not quite as satisfying as the rear, but that's okay. You can show that to your wives. Okay, let's talk about these handlebars. The easiest way I know how to get grips off, if you put your finger over the hole here and then stick some compressed air in the other side, take the grip right off like that. And then on this way, you plug it with your thumb. There it is. These grip shifts, these are replacement micro shift grip shifters and nothing special, but they probably work great. Oh, dropped my three-way. This is just the 2.5, 3-way. Usually these are 2.5 millimeter screws in there, bolts, whatevs. So to get these brake levers off, we have to disconnect the quick release brake. Okay, so we do that. That loosens things up so I can get a tool in there, and that tool would be a Phillips head or probably a JIS screwdriver. That's always kind of a trip, but I got it. All right, and you don't want to go too far, just get it loose enough to be able to slide it. Same thing with the rear. I always like it better when there's an Allen head in there. You can just get better purchase on an Allen head usually. Have a little more control of the situation. Okay, so that one comes off easy. Okay, I have an MSW Urban Cruiser Bar, 40 degrees of sweep, 55 millimeter of rise, 620 millimeter length. I'm not sure if I have a link in the description for you, and that'll go there. Typically, I like to match the bar color to the stem, but I don't have silver bars. Silver bars, ding-a-ling. There's something in here. What is it? Warning. Installed something or another, probably some law in California. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, won't reach. Back it up, cowboy. Try to do this without scratching anything. So this is the risky part, all right? Yeah, we're gonna need to redo some cables. Front shifter, rear brake, rear shifter. Okay, so what's happening here is this brake cable is way too short. So for now, we're just gonna try to set things up where it's acceptable and then go from there. It looks like the rear one's too short too, but our shifter ones are gonna be barely long enough. So that's something I probably should have checked earlier, but you need enough length in your cables to make up for all of this. Maybe we can find a different stem. You know, we don't need the rise of this stem and the rise of the bars. That's a little too much. Let me go see what I can dig up. Back it up, cowboy. Okay, so this stem, it's a 90-degree stem. So when the bike's on the ground, it'll look like it's pointing up a little bit, but the other one was sticking like straight up and it was just too high for the existing levers. This one is gonna be pretty close. We might need to redo the front one. I think the rear is gonna be acceptable. Front brake cable might need replacing. Regular watchers, I think this is it. These are the last grips. Suave max hold. I had a viewer actually go out to Walmart online. Oh man. Oh. And anyway, they ordered a can on Walmart.com, and the Walmart that was like 10 miles away hand delivered it to my door. So that's it for this can. Oh. And here's the new one you'll see in future videos. That's it. It was the Hard Rock. Anyway, a little bit of suave max hold. Don't use your hands as hammers. That's what future Andy is telling his grandkids right now. Yeah, sometimes I do learn things from the comments. I don't apply it to my life, but I learn it. Ugh, there we go. That's about what it's gonna look like. We just need to tighten things up. Yeah, we're gonna need to make this piece of housing longer. Maybe just replace that cable. That's kind of a pain in the butt. Sometimes you can get away with it. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you feel like a nut. 2.5 millimeter to tighten them back down. Just kind of guessing with the angle. That's a real personal preference thing. And then this one, yeah, this is just too tight. We're gonna have to make a tweak. Cut this puppy loose. Oh, drop the cable stop. All right, I got a length of housing here I found over on the bench, and we'll just kind of eyeball it. Trim that, trim this nasty end off of it. Clean up the end. And then I found a used cable over on the other bench. Let's see if I can get this in here the hard way. Yeah. Couple of fresh ferrules. Now we got plenty of cable there. That brake feels great. Okay, the new saddle. Woo! Weight that down a bit. Now with the upright riding position, it does make sense to have the saddle angled up a little bit, or at least, I mean, it always does for me, but I think just in general. So I'm a big fan of the finish line one step, especially for cleaning chains. I just spray a bunch on there. Ooh. This thing's pedaling itself, look at that. Woo. So again, one step back behind the free hub body and in the front. Let it work its way in there. It cleans and lubricates all at once. It's better. It's not fixed. We'll see how it goes. Work it in there. Wipe it one way, then the other. You know, and that cleans the chain and lubricates it. All right, we're gonna check the shifting here. Go up one at a time. Back down. It's really shifting well. The front cable feels really loose. I'm gonna shift into the middle and it's not shifting up. And that's consistent. So we'll just grab the cable, loosen the anchor a bit, pull on the cable, tighten the anchor real good. Way more better, hey. Too good. Okay, so one thing I forgot to do there. Let's redo that real quick. I'm gonna show you up close. I'm gonna start by turning this barrel adjuster out a little bit. Then grab my cable and loosen my anchor. Now we pull the cable gut and tight. That's a German word. And snug down the anchor bolt. Then go up into the middle, okay? So I'm in the middle chainring in the front and the big cog in back. And this chain is rubbing on the inside front derailleur cage with my other hand here. Okay, I'm going to just turn this barrel adjuster in slightly, which loosens the cable just enough. So it's just enough that this derailleur, when you pull on the cable, it pulls it out. When you loosen the cable, it relaxes back in. It's just enough where it's not rubbing anymore. Okay, so now I shift it in the rear down into the little cog, or the high gear. Okay, now we're getting rubbing on the outside cage. So I'm gonna turn that barrel adjuster out just a little bit. Okay, and that just kind of pulls on the derailleur just a smidge and pulls it away from the chain. So now I'm back up in the little, or the big cog in back, which is the low gear. It's rubbing just a little bit. All right, and I'm just finding the happy medium between the two. So it kind of rubs in both of those spots, which is pretty typical. It's not ideal, but you know, we're gonna live with it. That's part of being a triple chainring drivetrain. It's nice that we've switched away from that and everything's one by now. All right, this is Finish Line Speed Degreaser. It's really a powerful degreaser. It's like brake cleaner, kinda. And I'm squirting it into the freewheel or free hub as much as I can. Try to loosen things up. Get that to stop sticking. Pedal backwards. Seems to be working. Fixed. Well, there she is in all her glory. One thing I haven't mentioned, but I just noticed, and I don't like these pedals. I think they look cheap. I have some cheapo nylon platform pedals that I think are way more better, hey. So yeah, these are generic pedals. Put a little grease on them. And this, behold, is almost out. But I'm just gonna give it one last little polish here. Just kill the can. I'm killing lots of cans on this. I killed this can is empty. I killed 3 cans on this bike. And then last but not least, every slow bike needs a kickstand. You know, these green-filled kickstands are still manufactured in the United States. It's a gall dang winter wonderland out here today. Nice of them to come through with the salt truck this morning and get everything melted. You know, I don't really care about getting salt on my brand new slow bike here that I picked up for a few bucks at the garage sale and then converted myself in my garage. Look at that, what a bike. It's got a good stance. There's the kickstand. I love it. You know, and as far as reselling this, it's easy. These are new shifters, new grips, new saddle, new tires, new pedals, and just, you know, it's practically a new bike, and it's got a good balance. I think this stem worked out. It took a little while to get there, but I like how that looks. It's just a real smart get-around towner for a short-statured human being. It's much too small for me. Yeah, thanks so much for clicking in today and watching till the end. You know, that's the most gratifying part of this work, is knowing that there's somebody out there that actually cares about this stuff as much as I do. Because this is my life. I love it. This was a satisfying job, so I'm glad you were able to come along with me on that. If you like this content and want to see more, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, share with your friends, or if you really like it and you actually got some value out of it and want to give me a little something, you can send a super thanks my way. That money ends up in my bank account, and I go right over there to El Mariachi and get myself tacos campechanos about once a week. That's what I live on. It keeps me going, gives me the energy to make more videos, or consider a monthly sustaining membership. Join the channel as a member. Would love to have you over there. But for yourself, be sure you click that notification bell so you and your bikes can stay tuned.